Hello and welcome to the Daniel Highmoon podcast. I'm Daniel, and today I'm going to be talking about plans for the future. I'm titling this one "The 5-Year Plan." So I've made a decision in my life. I've been thinking about this lately, and I just kind of came to a conclusion and a decision. It's like I need to make certain changes in my life so that in 5 years. And I'm gonna say it in a kind of dramatic way, so that I'm not dead in 5 years, 5 to 10 years, I guess. And I'm being dramatic, but it's just kind of putting like an exclamation mark on this. I need to make changes in my life. I need to make changes in the way that I'm living, what I'm doing, and what I want to accomplish. And I mean, this has kind of been a theme already if you've been listening to the previous episodes. So it just dawned on me that what I needed to do was kind of create a 5-year plan and decide where I want to be in 5 years from now. I know that I'm going to be 52 in 5 years, and that's kind of scary. But it's also, kind of cool. It's still, that's nothing. I mean, that's young. I joke with the fact that I'm old right now at 46, um, but it's still a great age. So yeah, I need to make that 5-year plan. I need to figure out where is it that I want to go in life, in various aspects of my life, so that I end up at the end of those 5 years. I end up in a position where my life looks like my ideal, or as close to my ideal as I can get it, intentionally, and I'm not in a position where I've let life just kind of pass me by and wreck me up, which I've kind of have over the last few years. So I'm gonna kind of talk in about the goals that I have in some of the areas. Some of them are kind of well defined. Some of them are a little bit more vague, but yeah, I wanna share that. I'm very excited about this particular, and I've been talking to my very good friend Baron, and he has kind of validated and like confirmed that, and so has my wife actually, that this is a fantastic idea. So here we go. I just want to share some of my areas that I really want to hit on. I think primarily I always start with this one, is finances. I know that in the next 5 years I want to be as close to debt free as possible. Mostly that's going to look in terms of like credit cards that I've been paying off for a few years. For the first time in my life, I'm in a position where I'm actually able to work towards that goal of being debt free. So I'm excited. And I think that within a year or so, I should be completely rid of credit card debt and just kind of focusing on mortgage, student loans, and just monthly utility bills. I know that I want to eventually kind of change the way that we structure our mortgage so that we're hopefully hitting it a lot faster. Student loans, that's a mistake that I'm carrying around my neck for many years, and I think I will be carrying it for many years. But I want to get into a position where I can just make a monthly payment and just kind of take it off my plate. It's just make something that it's gonna not be so much of an anchor around my head, around my neck, and just something that I'm kind of dealing and just paying off those mistakes that I made during my younger years. Yeah, that's a big one, because by being able to reduce the amount of debt that I have and the payments that I need to make on a monthly basis, that means that I can then move into my level of income doesn't have to be, has to be a little bit smaller, or can be smaller and still meet all the needs that we have. So, which then leads to another area that I'm working on, which is, I call it work/income. I know that in 5 years I would like to be in a position where I am far more in control of my work situation. Um, I'm a nurse, and it's a job that I like, but it's a very stressful job, and I know that eventually I would like to kind of reduce my involvement in that field, um, to a more manageable level, instead, in terms of like the stress that it places on my life and on my person and on my family. So that means that I want to have developed income sources from a completely different area from work that I'm doing. And I'm gonna come back to that in a second, because I think this was where I had the real epiphany. Health. I definitely want to do something about my health. I mean, I've already been working on that. Um, I have certainly become more active than I have been in a long time, but I can do better. I'm seeing a doctor. I'm working on improving my physical health. I'm seeing a therapist for the first time in my life. Well, for the first time in, I don't know, like a long time. So working on my mental and emotional health as well, and I'm seeing the effects of that. So I'm gonna continue in that. Um, I've made my peace with the fact that I am a big guy, and I'm okay with that, actually. But even being a big guy, I know that I can do better. So that's what I want to do. I'm not kidding myself that I'm gonna become, a 200-pound svelte dude. I don't think that's really gonna happen. But I can certainly lose some weight and improve my health. Uh, you know, where I am right now, I can certainly do a lot better. So I'm working on that as well, because I have two little girls and I have a wife, and I want to be there for them. I want to see my girls grow, and God willing, that's gonna happen. But I also have to do, my part. So, health, finances, work, income. I know that I'll come back to that in a second. Like I said, I know that I want to, in terms of my spirituality and service, I want to achieve some goals there too. Um, I think spirituality is something that I'm always working on, and I kind of, there's like peaks and valleys, but I certainly want to keep working on that. Some goals that I have are very specific. I would like to read the whole Bible cover to cover over the next 5 years, but also just like get into a place in a position where it's a lot more integral in my life. And that I'm drawing a lot more from it, but just not kind of drawing in, but also to give. I know that I want to work on my service and volunteerism, and how that, what relation I have with the world. A lot of people think that because I'm a nurse, that, oh, you're doing always things for other people, and yes, kind of, but it's not the same. That's, nursing is my job, and yes, there's a certain vocation there, and yes, I'm helping patients, and it kind of feels good, but it's also my job. So it comes with all the pitfalls associated with a job, and all the mental stress that comes with it. So sometimes that interferes with the service aspect. So I really want to work on that service and to the world. And in terms of my family and my relationships, I really want to be able to be intentional about my presence with my family and my relationships with my family. Have dedicated regular time, like meaningful time with my wife and my daughters. Work on my friendships. I have time for my friendships. I haven't seen my best friend, who's now in the area, in maybe over a month. And we talked all the time, but I haven't seen him because life happens, and I have to be more intentional about it. I have a lot of, he understands I have a lot of competing demands on my time, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Create a situation where I have the time to really dedicate to friends and family and meaningful relationships. So, coming back to the whole income thing, because I think this is where I really had that epiphany, where I was thinking about how can I get to a position where um, I can create the life that I want to, and obviously, get the income that I need, because we need. I'm not in a situation where I'm living off grid in this little cabin in the woods by myself, which as appealing as that is, and I trust me, it is very appealing. Um, that's not my life. That's not really gonna be my life. Um, but how can I get there in terms of like the mentality, the ideals of it? And that means that I need to be able to produce income for myself, and I do that by working for myself. I have a number of skills that I have gathered, built up, kind of happened upon over the last, I don't know, 20 something years, and they're the key. They're the key that I for what I need to do. And I know that what I find myself thinking is that I follow a lot of people on social media, YouTube or podcasts, and these people are living that dream, living the point where they're doing this media work or content creation work, and earning a life from it. But they've all had to kind of build up to that point. And I kept seeing a very particular pattern, is that it was a 5-year journey from the moment that they kind of started to the moment that it kind of reached a point, that tipping point, where they were able to kind of finally achieve that independence and then now start working. Obviously, that the work never ends, but it was that 5-year number that I kept hearing over and over, and then that's when it dawned on me. It's like, I have the tools available. I have created over the last whatever many years, I have created the tools that I need to achieve that. But when I made them, that's not the mentality that I had behind their creation. The reason that I went ahead and turned all my social media and all my quote unquote brand presence off is because I came to the realization that when I made those, my goal was to seek external validation. It gave me a buzz, and it was something that I had to kind of deal with. It gave me a buzz to get the likes, to get the comments, and it just kind of helped me to feel seen. But that was the wrong reason to create those things, because it got to the point where the books that I was writing, the games that I was making, the videos that I was recording and editing and all that, and even the podcasts that I was putting out, it became work, because they weren't delivering what I was kind of seeking as fast as or as regularly as my ego was kind of looking for it. So I'll give an example of my YouTube channel. I started putting out hiking videos, and 8 months, 9 months into it, I had 35, 37 subscribers only, and and I'm happy for those 35, 30, I think it's 37, let's say 37, those people that were subscribed and were regularly watching my videos, and thankful for their time and their attention, and the fact that they wanted to see what the heck I was doing. But if my goal was to seek validation and to get likes and to kind of feel that buzz of getting something from them, that wasn't there. 37 subscriber was not really doing it. So then it became work. I was having to do another video for just 30 people, 30 or so people that were watching. It wasn't. But and I keep saying this is where I had that epiphany, but what if I took those same tools, stripped them of the original reason why I kind of created them? I'm going to use the foundation analogy of a building. Just kind of took down the building, which is what I did, turned everything off, and then redid the foundation of those same tools with the goal of that they're gonna be low right now, suck maybe even, But that's okay because that's not their goal. Their goal is to now start exist now and start being built now to reach that point in 5 years where they ideally and hopefully are in a position to actually allow me to switch my life and to actually provide for me and allow me to change my life into what I'm more looking forward to. um what if I took those tools and instead of using them for my momentary ego, what if I use them for a long-term life development, for long-term goal achievement? And in that case, when you look at it that way, having 35, 37 subscribers now in the first year, it doesn't seem that bad. Could I have more? Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Would I like more? Absolutely. But it doesn't seem that bad because that's not the goal. My goal is not to get that buzz right now, but to start building. And those 37 already are 37 people that are invested in what I'm producing. And they may tell other people, and other people may come in and see that there's people already watching, and then get motivated to kind of jump in. Same thing with a Twitter account, same thing with an Instagram account. I got over 100 people on my Instagram. That's awesome. That's people that are already following, that are invested in my content, in me as a creator. And I can keep building it to the point that 5 years from now, those 100 may have grown into a couple thousand. It requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of dedication. It requires a lot of planning. But I have the tools available. I have the channels made. I have all the pieces were already in place. I just needed to kind of put them aside, turn them off, so that I could rethink what is it that I wanted to do and how I wanted to achieve that. And that's what I'm kind of thinking right now. And I'm excited to suddenly think that a lot of what I'll need, a lot of what I could need, and it's already there. I already put the work into it. I just have to now develop it and keep pushing at it with the mentality that this is a marathon. Let's say it like that. I keep using analogies. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. This is a long-term thing. This is a 5-year plan, and that's what I keep coming back to. And it's been liberating. It's been quite invigorating to think of life that way. So that's what I've been doing, just kind of thinking about this 5-year plan. What is it that I want to achieve? What are the goals that I want? And then I'm going to, take those goals and I'm going to break them down in terms of what is it that I need to accomplish each year to get to where I want. What do I need to learn along the way in order to grow my tools in order to get to that life that I really want? That's where I am right now, and I'm excited about that. I cannot wait to get started. I mean, obviously, I have already started. I've been writing and reading and just kind of informing myself, educating myself, writing down notes and writing down the plan and just putting down goals. It's all there. I'm definitely already reaching for it. What form that plan will take, what form these steps will take, that's what you'll have to find out. And I hope if you're listening to this, you've already have some sort of investment in me as a creator, as a friend, as a person. I hope that you'll be a part of that journey, because this is going to grow. This is step one right here. You and I talking, you listening to me, sharing my story. This is step one, and we're going to get to step 100 or step 1,000, whatever it is. And I would love it for you to be a part of that. So that's where I am, the 5-year plan, laying down the foundation, rebuilding the foundation for everything that I had so that it can deliver a goal of a life that will be amazing, and working towards it over the next 5 years. I hope that you're going to be a part of that. I hope that you will be a partner in that journey. I hope that you'll bring other people and get excited, and we can all go along the way. This is Daniel Highmoon, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the podcast.